for Heat 3 of Round 4. Jadson Andre is going to be up against Josh Kerr and Mick Fanning also in the lineup. And won't these surfers be inspired? We had a chat to Jadson Andre prior to getting out there. He was watching Kelly Slater's performance and struggling to stay within his skin. He was so eager to get out there and get some of these rides. I think everyone is just enjoying this opportunity, a non-elimination round, to maybe tap into one of the best barrels they've ever had.
I mean, it's unbelievable out there. The conditions are perfect, the swell, the period. You know, yesterday was a shorter period, so it was great, but today is much better with the long interval. It's drawing off the reef. It's creating a much thicker kind of vibe out there. It's almost like pipeline in a point break version. And here you go, Jadson Andre, deep barrel, cannonball spit right there. Nice little start here, 7.93. You know, not quite an excellent score, but man, what a nice barrel.
We say a lot during these non-elimination heats, no losers, but certainly that is the case with the opportunity to get another session in today. As we see Mick Fanning deep in the barrel, and he comes flying out. Just a medium-sized wave, but a good read from a former runner-up in this contest as he works his way through to the inside. Gliding through a nice little turn there, but there won't be too many points in that move. It really is all about the tube and getting yourself way back on some of those bigger sets.
It's just a refresher. It's like, okay, it's on, boys, because the level of waves that we're looking at today, you don't get this opportunity all the time with the jersey on.
Well, Jadson Andre getting off to the best start, 7.93. As we see Josh Kerr look to get his first number on the board. He grabs the wall of this wave. Just pushing his body into the wall to slow down for a moment. Nice backhand snap. And just finishing this wave off now. He's going to kick out. Plenty of fireworks. The best conditions we've seen this year, for sure.
In a long time. I mean, this is literally, it's kind of as good as cloud break gets.
But there is definitely a chance that we could see some upset results in the bottom half of the draw too. I think Adrian Buchan's been looking really sharp as we see Fanning on the replay here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jadson Andre has been pretty steady in this event. He's been smart. He's been sitting in the right part of the ledge and the reef, figuring out where those good waves are, which is more than half the battle. And then he's been taking advantage of it too. He's been getting nice and deep. Obviously, he's already in a decent lead in this heat. Josh Kerr, another guy right here, as we see him get absolutely piped. Nice little barrel there as he gets spit out. Nice snap right there too. Pretty strong from Josh, throwing some buckets out the back. So a decent start for him. But Jadson Andre seems like the guy that could upset this heat. Even though Mick Fanning's kind of a heavy favorite. Right there, look at that wave selection, Ronnie. See that wave breaking outside of him, so he knew he was going to get cleaned up, but he sat there anyway, and this is the reward. Getting on that ledge, that's where those thick double-ups are. That's where the heaviest barrels are. It's easy for the judges to throw you big scores when you're in those gutted out, thick barrels.
He just gets completely fired out of the cannon here. Have a look how much spit comes out of this pit. Best feeling in the world as we get down to the 25-minute mark. Competitors now looking for their second highest scoring rides, but Jadson Andre establishing a pretty decent lead, and he picked off that insider. Mick Fanning's deep, a little too deep. He can't get into it, so Josh, he's going to capitalise here. Fading straight away, looking to set up this first section. The wave tapering pretty radically. And as a result, there's not going to be a big score coming Kersey's way, but nothing lost on having a crack at that wave. He was in third priority.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing the caliber of surf we're looking at right now. That was a complete throwaway. It's pretty simple right now. You got to get under that, way behind on the ledge to get those long, thick barrels.
Well, thinking about Kelly Slater and his performance so far in this contest, it's just a timely reminder of just how strong he is in these kind of conditions. We've talked about it all year, but I think at times it's been an element of respect that has kind of been the catalyst for that conversation. But Kelly's performances up until now in 2016 have been pretty lackluster, and a lot of people starting to question whether he can still compete at the CT level today, proving that when the conditions are big and there's barrels on offer, he's the best surfer in the world.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Kelly Slater's 44 years old, and yeah, he's definitely had a lackluster year on the performance waves, but it's not like he's not capable of getting solid results or even winning an event at snapper or lowers. You know, he's still ripping. He just had clumsy heats, and then you get to a place like Cloudbreak, and Kelly's the guy. You know, with maybe a handful of other guys, he's right there as, you know, setting the bar for what's possible to get done on a wave out here at Cloudbreak. So it's pretty incredible. You know, we're starting to slowly kind of relinquish the fact, like, oh, maybe he's not going to be fighting for world title, but you know what? He really could.
Well, here goes Mick Fanning, and he sets up a tube. This wave's starting to reel off, stalling, and trying to get as much out of this wave as possible, dragging his body, and I think Mick actually frustrated that wave didn't pan out the way he wanted, and he's frustrated because he wants more. He knows he has to be in a position, almost a 50-50 position of actually making the wave in order to get to that perfect range.
And in a weird way, Mick Fanning and the boys in this heat are competing against Gabriel. They're competing against Kelly. They go, okay, we know what's out there. The boys just showed us what's possible. Let's keep that level. Let's, you know, the bar's been set. Let's try to match it. So when you get a decent barrel, a pocket ride, it doesn't feel good. You know, you have to be stubborn and sit on that ledge.
Here we go, some movement out the back. Mick Fanning with priority finds this one. He's going to come out. Will this wave give him more? It does. It rifles down along the reef, not particularly deep on that second section, but the work was done at the start of that ride, and Fanning was chasing a 4.27 to get himself up into the lead. And all the competitors are just having fun out there at this point in time.
It was a fun claim. Yeah, definitely. I think Mick knows that that's, you know, not going to be a perfect 10, but imagine the vision, you know, he had sitting in that barrel. That was a very long barrel. Not the deepest, so it's going to keep the score in check a bit. But on the ledge, look, there's that late drop. That's an indication, Ronnie, that he was in the perfect spot. So the beginning part of this wave was nice, really thick, spit on him. So, you know, the first half of this ride in the barrel is where all the score's going to come from.
I don't know what that is about. But, Ross, what about the start of this ride? Mick uses his backside as a brake here.
And he's going to shove that thigh and that knee in the water. Then he says, you know what, I'm going to speed up there. He saw that wave peeling towards the channel, so he kind of made sure he didn't touch the wave. But when you want to slow down, you start putting body parts in the wall.
Strider, any insights on just what the hell Mick is doing in that situation there after that ride?
You know what? He's having a good time. It is just going Richter out here. There's a note, though. These guys are having to position themselves well underneath the ledge. You know, watching Kelly pin drop out of that one, talk about having to be another couple paddles into it. These guys are literally having to get right underneath the meat of it, and it's a total commitment thing. It's less than a second in between where they're taking off and going into the barrel, as you saw Mick on that last one. So, all in all, the boys are having a blast. Some of the best surf they've had all year, obviously the best surf they've had all year, and they're enjoying it. And I think that's what we're seeing, is just the pure enjoyment and the happiness of surfing.
They didn't really pass it up. Wiggly only didn't go because he was deeper and Adriano had priority. So Adriano went, and he actually went over the falls on it. And then I just couldn't believe my luck that I was sitting there. But I knew that, I kind of knew that was going to happen, because that's kind of why I caught the first one in that set. And I wanted to just get wide, because most of them just move down after each wave, you know. So I just thought that if this thing goes wide, I'd get real lucky here.
He's after a 7.87. As we see Jadson getting back to the takeoff zone, because while we were at the break, he had this one stalling from the outset.
Wow, Jaddy, nice little start to this wave. Slight bobble on that bottom turn, but tucked right back in. So 2 solid little barrels there for Jaddy, and not looking for much of a score. Seems like he might get it, but all in all, this looks like an average score. So even if he does get the score, he's going to be very vulnerable, Ronnie. So no doubt he's back on the hunt outside.
We'll have a look at this drone vision of Josh Kerr using his priority. This wave isn't going to open up too much on the ledge though, and Josh frustrated with his wave selection on that occasion because he drops down the third priority with set waves approaching. So Mick Fanning now in a good position to improve his lead.
This is ideal for Mick. You know, he's got a great score. He has priority. He doesn't have to play cat and mouse with trying to hide from anyone. He can go exactly where he wants to and find that ledge.
Well, haven't we seen some amazing double up options for the competitors throughout the morning too? Surfers pulling into a barrel. You can see that other lump of water just lining up with the inside and going really square. Some of the thickest barrels that we've seen. But just behind those surfers in the top 10, we have quite a number of competitors still alive in the mix. So there's going to be some big shift ups as we see Jadson is way down the back end of the ratings, trying to get himself the lead here. Still going through this tube. That was a deep barrel. Not a huge wave. That might keep the score a little lower, but it should see him into the lead. He needed a 5.85.
Yeah, it's looking like he might get it. And so for Jadson, Andre, you know, we'll take a look at the replay. He made the most of that wave, didn't he? It was, you know, not a real thick wave like we've been talking about, those typical ones you want on the ledge, but he manufactured a good score because he tucked in for a long time and got way back in there, which makes it technical. It's difficult.
Looking at the rest of the waves from today though, there is a chance that he won't go there with this number, even though it was such a deep barrel and he did really well to make it back out onto the open face. The judges will hold back on the scale because it wasn't what you'd call a set wave.
It's tough to say. You know, Gabriel Medina got that 4.6 for a big old alley-oop, so yeah, maybe he could get it, but you know, because it's all about tube rides today.
At the moment, Fanning with priority, making a motion towards this ride, and he's going to take this opportunity, fading straight away to set up this first section. Stalling now, grabbing the wall of this wave. It's starting to open up. Fanning still moving through this one. He is way deep, and he's going to come out. That is going to be a huge number. And what about just the composure, Ross, to keep himself nice and deep and fade back on that first section?
Oh my gosh. That is as good as a cloud break wave gets right there. I mean, that's what you want. When you dream of getting a wave out here, that's the wave right there that Mick Fanning just got. And you saw how easy the drop was. It was just a medium-sized wave at best. He rolled into it. It's got to be close to a 10.
Jadson Andre now looking for a reply. He finds that cover, but this wave just isn't racing across the reef like Mick Fanning's. Yet this goofy footer is juicing as many points out of this ride as possible. Finding plenty of cover, throwing down an air reverse on the inside. Loving that commitment to the end section from Jadson, but we might be about to see our third 10-point ride of the day drop. Mick Fanning getting incredibly funneled.
So it had that exciting factor where it was definitely risky.
And here we go, Josh Kerr. He's going to get an opportunity to maybe tap into one of the best backhand barrels he's ever had. This wave is nice. Doesn't have that really clean lip, but it's a deep barrel. And Kerr gets the exit and all style as he goes to the rail to finish that one off. It is firing.
Wow.
And the numbers coming through for Fanning now, 9.8, so he doesn't go excellent. Well, it does go into the excellent range, but it's not a perfect score. I don't think you'll be too disappointed though, Ross.
No, so he just put Josh Kerr and Jadson Andre in a world of hurt. They're both comboed. You can see the numbers right there. This thing is done and dusted. What a wave from Mick. I want to see that thing 100 times in a row.
And here he is again with just 10 seconds remaining, taking this one through to the channel. The job is done. A heat score total of 18.07. Let's see a replay of the 9.8. It was a wave that didn't look like much from the start, but Mick knew what was happening down the line here.
It was as easy as a wave gets out here. And he stalls, or he's trying to wipe speed off. Now he's going to let go and just keep the body clean and get out of that bad boy. Again, so darn perfect. Not a drop of water out of place. That was as good as a wave gets out here. This is a cool angle right here because you'll see the body work. Right here, he's going to shove his left knee in the water, slow down a bit. Now he sees that long line and he lets go. He even pumped a little bit. Never let go of the rail. He's trying to keep control of that surfboard. Textbook perfect ride there from Mick.
Just making some comparisons to the perfect scores that we've seen earlier today. The judges love it when the competitors almost come to a standstill before they gun into that tube. And Mick, he had a lot of speed down the line. I don't think he could have got much deeper.
Oh
but
my God.
The best section of the wave was right there.
That was a moving cover shot right there.